Hello, all you adorable fluff butts out there. Kitthesoulless here, and today we're going to be talking about, well, me. Or more accurately, my mental health and what happened the other day. See, as a lot of people who watch this channel would know, I have something called PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. What this means is I have been the subject of a great deal of abuse in my life, and it's left psychological scars. There are times when I will have the occasional emotional or mental breakdown because of this particular affliction. Usually for me, these are relatively easy to deal with unless they are a severe breakdown, which is what you guys actually saw the other day. What I did not realize that day until long after the attack had started was that I was already not doing okay that day. I should never have tried to stream. And for those of you who my outburst has frightened or hurt, all I can say is I'm sorry. I will try to do better. But I cannot promise anyone that this won't happen again. This is very much a part of who I am. It is very much a sickness that I will more than likely never recover from. And because of that, I can't say for certain if I'll have another breakdown like this or not. As for what caused it, about a week ago, I got a message while I was streaming from a friend's account. Someone on the account had said that a friend of mine by the name of Angel had committed suicide. And at first, it happened when a lot of people's Discord accounts or what have you were being hacked, and I thought it was just a cruel joke. I have been waiting ever since to just see them pop up online again and say hey like there's nothing wrong. But I think it finally settled in that day that they're never going to do that. And I think the realization of that is what initially caused the break. And the anger that you guys saw on the stream that day was just my fucked up brain trying to latch onto anything that I knew that would upset me. So I had a reason to be mad. Several small things compounded during that breakdown. Most of them were things that should never have actually bothered me. Things that I should have been able to just shrug off, and arguments that I should have just been able to agree to disagree, or what have you, and it shouldn't have affected me this way. But because of what was happening at the time, I just kept getting worse and worse. That night I spent more than 6 hours trapped inside my own head, trying desperately to get back to a point where I could feel anything but hatred again. As for those of you who stood by me through this, who tried to help me, and tried to make sure I was okay, all I can say is thank you. And I promise that from here on out I will try to keep my emotions in check. And from here on out, I will try to do better at communicating and letting people know when I'm not okay. The person that a lot of you saw that day is not who I want to be. People call me a monster. And I have to some extent agreed with them. Because there are times when I can be. But please understand that I fight against my own demons every minute of every day. As for the other issues I face, for the better half of a year or more, I have been dealing with abandonment issues that I thought I had grown from, that I thought I had put behind me. This is an issue that it took me and my mate 14 years of trying to even start to put behind me. And within the last year or so, they have come back full force because of two individuals. And no, I'm not going to name names. Once I explain what you've done, you'll know who you are. Around a year ago, two individuals decided it was a good idea to abandon me. Both of them sent me long-winded messages about how I was such a terrible person, how they could never forgive me for something I had done. One of them was a friend that I had tried desperately to help, who struggled with their own mental issues at the time, and had been the target of the same kind of harassment that I have been a target of pretty much my entire life. The other was my sister. Someone who I cared about so much that I was willing to give my life for them. Since that day, there has not been a single morning where I don't wake up and immediately have the thought of, who's going to abandon me today? When I sit down at my computer, who is it next that's going to have disappeared from my life forever? And will they give me the chance to say I'm sorry? Or to ask what I could have done differently? One of the reasons why I was trapped for so long in my own head the other night is because one of them tried to approach me. You know who you are. And if you are seeing this, I'm sorry. I'm not ready to talk to you. I'm not ready to forgive you. I have permanent scars because of what you and my sister did. There is permanent damage to my body that will never heal. because I have tried multiple times since to end my own life. I have done irreparable damage to some of my internal organs. By use of drugs and alcohol to an excessive degree. Because you decided it was a good idea to simply abandon me and never give me a chance to speak. You gave me no way of apologizing, no way of trying to understand what I could have done better. You helped to bring back a mental disorder that I thought I had put to rest years ago. And I don't know if I will ever be able to forgive you for that. I have spent every waking moment hating myself and everything about who and what I am since that day. You've tried to convince other people that I care about to do the same thing to me that you did. You continuously tell them that any interaction with me is detrimental to you, without thinking about anything else other than your hatred for me. Understand, it is a miracle that I am alive right now. And because of that, I don't know if I will ever be able to forgive you. And for that, I'm sorry. You don't deserve to be hated like this. But I can't help it. Not at this point. It takes every bit of resolve and willpower I have just to talk about this. And honestly, if I have to hear your voice, understand, I will likely start yelling at you and I won't stop until I don't have a voice left. The amount of anger I have just hearing your name is enough to make me want to kill myself. I wish this weren't the case. I wish we could still put everything behind us. I wish we could go back to being friends. But honestly, I don't, at this point, see that ever happening again. And I'm sorry.